What's going on, guys? This is Rich of Review Tech USA. You are looking at Crysis 2 in all of its DirectX 11 glory. All the settings maxed out. The only thing I don't have turned on is VSync, because for some reason with this game, I think it's a bug with either Crysis 2 or the drivers. It just really, the frame rate is really like up and down, and it's not when in like a really intense setting. Like I could be staring at a wall where the frame rate should easily be over 60 frames per second, and I'll get 20. So explain that one to me. Also, another question about this game. I don't know if anyone else had this problem with Crysis 2 before I get into the topic of this video. This game will not run stable. It'll crash every 15 minutes unless I install it with a fresh operating system install. Like I have to wipe out my hard drive, re-image it, and then install this game with DirectX 11 patch. Only with the DirectX 11 patch though. If I play the game in DirectX 9, it doesn't lock up. DirectX 11, if I have, Windows 7 on here, and I have it on here for a while, if I try to install it like after I have Windows 7 on for a few months, game's a wrap, can't play it. Very weird, obviously a software glitch. Maybe I have a virus. I don't know. It could be 100 different things, but just weird that you have to have a fresh operating system installed for this game to run alright with DirectX 11, but it looks beautiful. I reinstalled my OS for the topic of this video today, and that's Battlefield 3. I Battlefield 3 readied my computer, and I'm looking forward to playing the beta coming out in a couple days. I did pre-order this game. I don't know why I didn't get a beta code. I think I should have. And I should have asked questions, and I didn't because I'm a dumbass. But anyway, now on to the topic of this video. So if you guys have checked out GameSpot, GameSpot has had a ton of beta footage for Battlefield 3. GameSpot footage. Yeah, listen to me. And I have to say, the game looks pretty crappy for the consoles. I tried to be fair and balanced. I really did until the 11th hour. I was like, let's see what the game looks like. I was pretty impressed on the Jimmy Fallon show, but boy, very pixelated shadows, tons of pop-in, screen tearing, murky textures. I mean, it really looks rough. It looks rough. It looks bad. And seeing that really horrendous footage on GameSpot from Battlefield 3 beta made me think, is this the game that's going to make consumers demand next generation? Is this going to be the game that makes people realize, even people who aren't tech savvy, who just enjoy gaming, and when they see the Battlefield 3 footage on the PC and they compare it to their PS3 or 360 version, are they going to say, holy crap, that's what I want, and I'm not getting it? I'm far behind with these consoles. I'm not getting the experience I really want. It's interesting, and this is my take on this. This isn't official. This isn't something I saw in an article. There was always that game from previous generations that made you realize how dated your consoles were. And back in the PS2 and Xbox days, that game for me was Half-Life 2 on the Xbox. I didn't own a gaming PC back then, and I wasn't really into gaming. I had a Xbox for a little while, and I got Half-Life 2 for it because I heard a lot about it. Everyone's like, Half-Life 2 is amazing, and I saw PC footage of it. My friend had a PC, and he had the game on there, and it looked amazing. And you played it on the Xbox, and it was playable, but it was nowhere near what the PC version was. And then I was like, ooh, man, these consoles are kind of getting rough around the edges, man, getting long in the tooth. That game for the previous generation was the game that kind of said, okay, now it's time to move on to new hardware. And the generation before that, N64, PS1, and PlayStation, the game that made me realize those consoles were becoming dated and their hardware was becoming obsolete was Perfect Dark. I remember being really excited for that game, and when it came out, you had to have the expansion pack. It had high-res textures and was supposed to be a lot prettier than GoldenEye, and more or less it was. But the thing that bothered me about that was the frame rate sucked on that game, man. I mean, you got into any kind of firefights. I mean, that game had to teeter around like 22 to 28 frames per second for a good chunk of the game. And that game from that generation made me realize, okay, you know, the PS1, the N64, they're getting really dated. It's time to bring in the new hardware. So part one of this video is my question to you. Do you think Battlefield, you know, we're going to find out very soon, less than a month. I mean, if you want to consider the beta finding out, hey, less than a couple days, maybe you're priority playing it now if you pre-order the game. Is Battlefield 3 going to be that game, like I asked before, that's going to make people, the general consumer, not the tech-savvy consumer, the general consumer say, hey, I want new hardware, I want new technology, now it's time. I see what the PC guys are getting, and these consoles can't offer that anymore. It's over. Give me new hardware. Do you think that this game is going to do that like other games from previous generations have done? So leave me your thoughts on that below. Now the second part of this video is a couple days ago, Black Bond heard that I want to get a GTX 580. And he sent me a message saying, hey Rich, why don't you just SLI your GTX 560 Ti? It'll be cheaper and actually gets better, you know, benchmarks than having one GTX 580. And I'm actually probably going to do it, Black Bond. But I'll tell you why I've never been a fan of SLI before. This is my opinion. If you like SLI, I know there's benefits to SLI. I'm actually going to try SLI. But my thoughts on SLI is this. And this is how I used to think, and I still do think to a point, but just getting another 560 Ti is something that I can afford. I can't afford to get a 580. Even if I sold some stuff or worked overtime, ain't going to happen. The only time I deem SLI necessary, in my mind, and other people agree with me too, is if you buy the top-of-the-line GPU, and the only way you could get more horsepower or more performance out of your computer is by buying another top-of-the-line GPU. Having a single GPU, in my eyes, and has less compatibility issues, consumes less power, and is more stable. However, like I said, if you're looking to boost your system as it is, and you have an SLI or Crossfire capable card, it's not a bad alternative. I just prefer having a single GPU if I can afford it. I think, like I said before, there's more benefits to it. But I am going to try getting another GTX 560 Ti to improve the performance of my machine. So, Black Bond, there you go. That's why I've never been a fan of SLIing video cards, but I am going to give it a shot. So we'll see how it works out. Anyway, guys, leave your thoughts on this video. Do you think that Battlefield 3, like I asked before, is going to usher in next generation? Or do you think it's going to be another title? From what I'm seeing with the gameplay videos from the console versions of the game, I think this may be the title that does it. So I need to get some more software installed on my computer, so I'm going to go do that. So hope you enjoyed this video. I'm interested to see what you guys have to say. Have a good one.